Good morning, everyone. Welcome to lecture 17 of problem solving and computer programming course. So in this lecture, we'll discuss about void function. Although I told you in the last few classes about void function, but we'll go in detail about the void function, and we'll compare void function with the function with return type. Like you already know about the function with return type int. You also know that return type double, okay, whatever you used in the case of function. So we'll compare with void function with the function which is having return type. That's the first thing. Second thing, we are going to again revisit the concept of call by reference or pass by reference, and we'll see if you are not using ampersand, right? We are using ampersand in the case of call by reference. If you are not using ampersand, then what will be the circumstance? And we'll also compare by with the call by value, right? So we'll see what is the difference again. We'll revisit that concept again. Then I will tell you in the next few classes, that is about the procedural abstraction, how to perform the testing and debugging, and various techniques related to debugging that we will discuss in the subsequent classes, right? But today's point of discussion is the void function and their call by value reference parameter. So come to the void function. So I mentioned you already that void is a non-return type, okay? But int, double, or you are writing float, or you are writing character, right? So these are called as the return type, but void is a non-return type, right? That means the return statement, whatever you are writing, whenever you are calling a particular function with return type, you are writing return 0, right? But here return statement is your optional, right? So let us see. So we already discussed about the top-down design. In top-down design, a task is given to you. You are decomposing the task into multiple subtasks. So a single task is given. The task may be the calculator. You are decomposing into, let's say, 4 modules. One is for addition, another is for subtraction, another is for the multiplication, another is for the division, right? So whenever you go for such design, a subtask might produce no value. Sometimes what happens, there is input and output, but input or output, for example, but there is no return value, right? Or it is not producing any value. Sometimes a subtask may return a single value. Sometimes it may return more than one value as well. Okay, so that depends, right? What is the subtask and what is the goal of that subtask? So we have seen how to implement functions that return one value. So we have seen whenever you are calling a particular function, that function is returning one value. Let it is returning, suppose in the previous case, if you remember, we have written, let's say, price for area, right? Price is there and area is there. We'll divide price with area. Whatever value is coming, that we are returning, right? Or you can say return a plus b, right? A function return a plus b. Or if you have taken if else statement, you can say return a plus b if condition is satisfied. If condition is not satisfied, then you can say return a minus b, right? So in this way, what we are familiar with, we are familiar with a function which returns a single value, right? But whenever you are talking about the void function implements a subtask that returns no value or more than one value, right? It is not going to return you any value. So if it is not returning the value, how the compiler will know? That is also a question mark, okay? Because void is your non-return type, so it is not expecting anything should be written by a particular program. Means in order to successfully complete its execution, return value is not required. But whenever you are writing a function with return type int or function with return type double or float or character, there we are expecting that at least one value you should return. Otherwise, the program will not complete successfully, right? So there is two main difference if you compare a void function definition with the definition of function that return one value, right? A function, suppose you have created a function, let's say int, okay, int add is a function you have created, right? And you are expecting that you are giving two number as input and it should return the addition of two number. So what I can say? I can say the function definition is returning a single value, right? But in the void case, what happened? Void definition case, return is not required. Return is optional. So there you have to write, let's say if you are doing void add, okay, then in this function, there is no return statement. Means return statement is optional. You can write the return statement, but it is optional. But in this case, the return statement is compulsory, right? So if you compare a function which is defined with the void as return type, which is a non-return type actually, and a return type int or double or float or character, what is the difference? The first difference is that you are using a void, which is replaced by the type of the value returned. Here the type of value returned is int, that's why I am using integer. But here there is no return type, right? That's why we are writing void. So instead of a return type, we are replacing void, right? Void means no value is returned by the function, right? What is the second difference? If you compare this void function with int function, second is the return statement does not include any expression. Does not include an expression. Okay, like you are writing return 0, return 1, return -1, return price by area, return A into B, return A plus B, that is not required. If you see an example, here you can see I have declared a function. The function name is so underscore results. What is the return type? The return type is void, which is a non-return type, which takes two arguments. One argument is your f underscore degree, that is called as Fahrenheit. C is your Celsius, right? So two parameters you are taking, but the return type is void. But these variables, whatever you have used, their return type is double. Try to understand, don't be confused. This is the return type of that particular variable. What type of variable that is? But here it is a return type of function, that if you have defined a particular function with void keyword, return statement is optional. Or if you want to write the return statement, you can write return semicolon. That's all. No need to write any other thing, right? So here you can see I'm printing Cout F degree. F degree will be given to you. C degree will be given to you from the main program. Then you will the source, and you are going to print F degree. Then there is a message degrees Fahrenheit is equivalent to. Then you will come to next line. You will write C degree, and you are. So you are printing here Fahrenheit degree. Another here you are printing Celsius degree, right? And these two values will be supplied to you. So the main thing what you will learn here, that if you are using the void keyword, this statement is optional, right? If certain compiler is not supporting, then you try with return semicolon, right? And many compilers are also there, they are not supporting void as well. Okay, you can try. It varies with respect to compiler. You have to go through different compilers in order to learn this particular thing. So void function calls are executable statements. Okay, here you can see here many statements are there. They are executable statements. You have written Cout or you have written return statement. They are executable statements. So they don't need to be part of another statement. But whenever you are defining a void function, they should not be part of another statement. Okay. Another thing, the void function is end with a semicolon, right? This is the function definition. But whenever you are calling that function, inside the main function, it should be end with a semicolon. No need to assign it to some statement. For example, here you can see so underscore results. Okay. So in the previous slide, you can say function. So I want to call to this particular function. So what I'll write? So underscore results followed by two values. Let it be first value is 32.5, which will be called to your f underscore degrees, and second value is your 0.3, which is copied to your c underscore degrees, right? So here you can see no return type I have written. Whenever I'm calling from the main function, no need to write the return type like previous functions, right? But you should not write like this, C out so underscore result 32.5 0.3 in the case of void. That's why I told you they don't need to be a part of another statement. So you have to write the void function call in an independent statement, not as a dependent statement. Or you cannot club with another statement. Okay. So now if you see void function calls, okay, here the mechanism is nearly the same as call. Whatever we have seen, that is same function call. Earlier we are writing the return type, but in this case we are writing, okay, instead of writing the return type, we are writing void. So argument values are substituted for the formal parameter. I told you within the main function you have actual argument. You are passing the actual argument to the formal argument or formal parameter. Okay, so there is two procedure we are following. Generally, we are following call by value, but some cases you can also use call by reference based upon your need, right? So it is fairly common to have no parameters in void function. Okay, sometimes we are writing the void function like you are writing main function, right? In the main function you are not specifying any parameter. Similarly, void function is called without any parameter in general way. In this case, there will be no argument in the function call. Like you have seen in the previous cases, I told you, so underscore results is defined under a void function and it takes two parameters. One is 32.5, 0.3, but normally we are calling the void function with no argument. Statement in function bodies are executed. Whatever statement you have written inside the void, even if you are not providing any argument, that is executed, right? Next is optional return statement ends the function. You can write the return statement, you cannot write the return. If you not write that statement also, that is fine. But if you are writing, you write return semicolon, right? So return statement does not include a value to return. Like you are writing earlier return 0, here you are writing return semicolon. So no need to write 0, 1, 2, any value. Second one, return statement is not included. Okay. So these are the optional return statement we are writing in the void function calls. Okay. So here our idea is to converting the temperature. Okay. You know that there is two representation. Okay. One is your Fahrenheit representation, another is your Celsius representation. Is my voice clear? Is it clear? Somebody is saying it is not clear.
Clear, sir.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, sir. Clear, sir.
Thank you very much. So the function just developed can be used in a program to convert the Fahrenheit temperature to Celsius. And it is a very famous program also. Okay. You are given with the temperature in the Fahrenheit and you have to convert the temperature from Fahrenheit to Celsius or vice versa. With Celsius, you have to convert to Fahrenheit. So there is two representations, right? So do you see here that what is the problem? The main problem is that the temperature is 32.5. That is also possible. Instead of saying 32 degrees Celsius, 33 degrees Celsius, or in the cold season, we are saying 10 degree, 15 degrees Celsius, something like that. So sometimes we can say 15.5 as well. What I try to convince you that in this case, we have double representation instead of integer presentation. But what is the problem here? Here you can see, right? You are writing 5 by 9. 5 by 9 is nothing but int divided by int. It is returning you int. So that's why it is saying, do you see the integer division problem here? Right? 4. Then it will come 2, right? If you divide 9 by 4, then also it is coming, right? But it should come 2 point something, 2 point something should come 2.25 or something like that. Okay, as you are dividing int by int, you are getting the output. Take care. Whenever you are converting some double number to another double number or a floating point number to another floating point number, right? You should not multiply with int divided by int. If you are doing that, then you have to do typecasting. If you do typecasting, then your problem can be solved. Let us see this program. So this is the complete program to convert a Fahrenheit temperature to a, right? So here you can see we have defined three functions, right? Three functions. Function number 1 is function number 2. We are using a return type double function. We are using the keyword void, right? So there are three functions. First function is called in. Whenever you are declaring a function, you should write some comment line. Like we are saying, separate the current output from the output of the previously run program. Suppose you have run a particular program A, okay, once and is printed in the output. Now you are running another program B. So what you need? Either you need to clear the output screen or click on enter, right? So that your next program number B, program number A's output. That's why this particular function separate the current means program B's output from the output of the previously run program A. For that we are writing, okay. Second name is called Celsius, which takes one parameter, that is Fahrenheit, and return type of the Fahrenheit is double, and the is to convert a Fahrenheit temperature to a Celsius temperature. Okay. Function name is so underscore results, which we discussed today. That is f underscore degree, c underscore degree. It is so you can differentiate these two word function. Here the first word function is having no argument. Okay, so no argument. But here you have f degrees, another is c degrees. Okay, and Celsius is equivalent to f degrees in Fahrenheit. Okay, it will convert. Okay, now your execution will start from here, right? So then you have defined two variables. One is f underscore temperature, c underscore temperature. Then you are calling initialize screen, and you initialize screen here, and you have defined initialize screen here. The function definition is here. So when the control will come from this part to here, right? With no argument. There, all the statements that is written inside that initialize screen function, which is of void type, will be executed. So what you have written here? You have written using namespace std, cout, and l. And l means what? And l is same as your backslash. Get a new line. Okay. So what is the reason of why you are writing new line? Because and output from your previously run output. Okay, the previously run output, and this output you want to give some space. That's why you call to initialize screen. Right? Now, once it is executed, one line will come, right? Right? My voice is clear. Again, someone is saying there is some issue with
Clear, sir. Clear.
Those who are having problem, please check, because my internet it is very high now. Okay, it is showing full network. Okay, so next I am calling cout function. In cout function, cout statement, I have written I will convert a Fahrenheit temperature to Celsius. One line break you will get by calling this initial line. It will print, I will convert a Fahrenheit temperature to Celsius. Okay, then it will show enter. It will give input. It will be taken as F underscore temperature. Okay, so F underscore temperature, whatever value, okay, that value will be sent to the Celsius function, right? Why you call this voice function? To give a blank space. If some output is, you can differentiate the output of the previous program with current program. Okay, so there is a space coming. Now it will print this statement, I will convert. It will ask enter your temperature in Fahrenheit. Then you have to give in the value of Fahrenheit temperature. Then it is calling the Celsius function with F. Okay, so Celsius function we'll see in the next slide. What Celsius function? Next, your Fahrenheit. Whatever you are sending here, F underscore temperature, that is captured by this Fahrenheit. So once this Fahrenheit is received by this particular function, it is calculating 5 divided by 9 into Fahrenheit minus 32. Whatever value is coming. So whenever so it is saying whatever calculation is there, that calculation that will be called as your C underscore temperature, right? Then in order to display your result, you are calling another void function. You are using a function with return type, like Celsius is written with return type W to some variable. But whenever you are calling the void function, other statement, right? That statement you are writing in. You are not writing C out, something like that. That is. So what we are doing, in order to show the Fahrenheit temperature and Celsius temperature, after calculation of the Celsius temperature, you are calling the show results function. Let us go to show result function. Show result function is having two parameters. One is F degrees, another is C degrees. So F, that is F temperature and C temperature. Okay, F temperature and C temperature, that is received here as F degree and C, right? So once you receive this F degree and C degree, you want to display. And precision you want to specify up to 1, for which you have written these three statements. If precision for 2 digit, then you can write 2. So in the C out statement, what you are printing, F degree, that is nothing but, in this case, if you see, it is 32.5 degree. So this is the statement, it will print, and C degree, that equivalent of F degree, is 0.0 Celsius will be printed. So the idea of this program to be familiar with this void function. Don't worry about the void function. Void function is same as normal function, but return is optional. Like this. You can see in the previous case also. We have written a statement. The difference between the first void function and the second void function, which is in the next slide, is that here we are taking 2 argument, here we are taking no argument. If you are writing no argument, the statement will be executed, right? So this is the program to convert the Fahrenheit to Celsius. So you try Celsius to Fahrenheit. You just change this formula. Here the formula is 5 by 9. If you calculate, then you are getting the Celsius. Just to change this formula and calculate with a given Celsius, convert to Fahrenheit. Just write using the word functions. Same program you have to write by converting it. Okay. So next is return. So somebody will say that if return statement is optional, so we will not use, right? Definitely we will not use. Maximum cases we are not using the return statement because void is the system type statement is required. That's why a question raises here: is a return statement ever needed in void function since no value is written? Like we are writing return 0, right, in each and every function, right? Why you are writing? For the successful completion of that, right? Similarly, there are some void functions are there, like in the previous one, to clear the screen. What we have written? We have written a particular function which have only one statement, that is cout and f. Means it will create a new line. So in such cases, return statement is required. Although it is not compulsory, right, to write the return statement, but some function case, no value is returned. That's why we are writing the return statement in the void function, right? Next question is required, that is, what if a branch of an if-else statement requires that the function ends to avoid producing more output or creating a mathematical error? So if you are writing else if statement, in each and every case you have a return statement, right? So some cases you are avoiding producing more, or you are getting some mathematical error, creating a mathematical error. So in such cases, we are writing the return statement, but it is optional, right? I'll tell you in the through a particular program, so the idea is more clear. So in void function avoids division by 0 with a return statement also. Like cannot be divided by 0 because it will lead to infinity, right? So what you can do, you can write the return statement there, but it is completely optional, right? For some cases it is required, but try to avoid the return statement, or you write return semicolon, that's all. See here, I have written a if statement, right? You know that there is a function declaration. In function declaration, division is a function which is having the return type void. So two argument, one is number, that is of integer type, double type. Okay. Next one is, I want to define this function. Once a function, so I have defined the function here. Okay. Taken a variable that is portion, right? Portion that is having double type. So I am checking here, if number is equal to 0, then return. Indicates number is equal to 0, then the function execution ends here. Right. But here we are writing return. So in this case, this return is required. Otherwise, what happen? It will going to calculate portion is equal to total under. Suppose total weight is 100 and total number is 10. So each one is right, and you are displaying each one weight. That's getting each one receives portion, whatever the value you got here. Like in this case, if you take 110, then you are getting 10 here. And ounces of. So few cases the return statement is required. You can write the break statement also. Somebody is asking you whether break statement we can write or break statement as well. But as I mentioned, break will exit you from the. I told you very clearly that if you have written for a for, inside that if you have a if statement and if break, you are going out of this particular loop, right? Even if you write like that, you will go outside that particular loop, right? Okay. Come to the main function. The main function in a program is used like a void function. But void function, the return type of main function, whatever we have seen till now, we are writing int. But right? And if you compare, main function has no argument and void function also takes no argument. That is also possible. And you can also define main function as void main as well. No need to write int main as well, right? So do you have to end the program with a return statement? Right? Like main function, you are writing int. But whenever you write void main, you write simply return semicolon, right? So because the main function is defined to return a value of type int, return 0 is needed, right? But if it is void main, simply you can write return semicolon. So C++ standard says that return 0 can be omitted, compiler still required to use it. So it purely based upon the compiler. Many cases the compiler plays an important role. You may get different. Okay. So like that, you can many cases the clear skin, that is CLR SCR. The CLR SCR is not supported by some compiler. Get character, right? So that is also not supported in. Okay, few compilers support it, few compilers they are not supporting it. So here we have a void function and function that return one value. You can differentiate. You can write an assignment to find the difference between the void function and function with one return value. What happens if you forget the return statement in a void function? You have written a void function, but you forget to write return statement. What is going to happen? That you can check. You can distinguish between a function that are used as expression and those are used as a statement. Okay, note that a function can be used as an expression or can be used as a statement. Like I told you in the void statement, we are writing only the function name and parameter followed by semicolon. Right? So that thing you can explore. Now next point of discussion, reference parameter. I told you these two things. One is call by reference. When you want that your original value should not be modified. Clear? Can anybody respond? Others people?
No, sir. Breaking, sir.
Just a minute. Is it clear now? Anybody respond?
Sir, sometimes it is clear, sir, but in middle, somewhat it is disturbing.
So there is two things. One is the for, okay, another is your call by reference. So in call by value, what your original value should not be disturbed, right? Your original value should not be changed in the program, right? But whenever you want that your original value, in that case, you can go for call by reference. So we'll see the parameters used in the call by reference, and if you are not replacing the ampersand, then what will be the circumstance? Is not adequate when we need a subtask to obtain input value. Call by value means what you are doing, formal parameter receive the value of the argument. Actual parameter and formal parameter is getting a copy of your actual parameter, right? And to obtain input values that are arguments to that particular function. Okay, that we have already seen in the case of call by value. Use of the formal parameter in a function body, you can change your values in the formal parameter, but it's not going to affect your original value or the actual parameter. So we have not changed the argument found in the function call. So let us see one example. Okay, before that, by reference parameter allow us to change the variable used in the function call. Okay, like call value. That's why the value is not changed. But call by reference, you are sending your original value because you are sending the address. Change the function. Okay, after receiving the formal parameter, that will also affect to your actual, right? And arguments for call by parameter variable, but they should not be the numbers. See here, function name is get underscore input and its return type is void. It takes one argument. The argument is your, the variable name is f underscore is double. But what we are doing here, you are sending the address of that particular double variable right? So in that case, you are, but whenever you are writing ampersand, so you are not passing the value, you are passing the address, right? So you can see here inside that particular function, you have written to Celsius and enter a temperature in Fahrenheit, right? Whatever user is giving input, that you are taking as a, right? So this ampersand is a call by reference parameter. It is not a call by value, but this case it is call by reference parameter. So it is case and the definition case. Declaration, whatever you are writing, okay, and after the main function, whatever you are writing, that is your, you have to write this ampersand symbol. So this is the program. You can see here you have three functions. Get underscore number, which takes two parameter, both are having integer type. Is your swap underscore values, which takes integer type. Third one is two parameter output and output 2, and the name of the function is so underscore. Start with int main. Your program starts from here, right? One is first underscore num, another is called second underscore num. Then in this case, you can see first you are calling, so first underscore num and second underscore num. Let first underscore num memory. Let's say the memory location is 1000. Num is, let's say, available in another 1004. But I do not know what is the value of first num. I do not know what is. Here I am writing get underscore number first underscore num. And if you see the declaration, what this declaration is saying, it is taking of input 1 and ampersand of input 2, which is defined here. The first num address is copied to here. Second num's address means this 1000 and 1004. But the second num. See, in this case, indicates the address. Your 1000 and 1004, and this is the value. Value is not defined. When you are asking input here, enter 2 integer, your input is 10 and 20. So now, because first num are the two variables, they are these variables you are giving to the input 1 and input 2. So if I write here input 1, what you are doing? First num input 1. Okay, first num you are giving to input 1. Here you are, this input 1 is holding, okay, they are not containing the value. Try to understand. Having this one is called as your value, and this okay. So what we are doing is both variable you are doing. What happens? Whatever value you are giving, that value will automatically first num and second num. So the value is now 1020 here. In this particular function, as you are passing the address 1000, the value is 10 and 20 respectively. So what 20 respectively, you are calling another function, that is swap under defined here. Again, the first num value is coming. Num value is coming to variable 2, which is nothing but 10 and 20. Okay, you are declaring a temporary variable here. Variable is equal to variable 1. Temp is equal to variable 1. Temp is a variable. Temp's initial value is your 10. Value is 10. Next, variable 1 is nothing. 1 is nothing but is equal to variable 2. What is the variable 2? So that is assigned to your variable 1. The last one is your variable 2. So whatever temp, right? What is the temp value? Temp value is 10. That should be assigned to. So what we are doing here? If the value is given as 10 to 20, that is nothing but swapping of two numbers. You are doing the swapping of two numbers. Swapping, you are so you can see after the swapping is done, now the variable 1020 is changed to 2010 here. And the value is 2010. Then what happened? You are calling show results function. You are giving output 1 to here, and you are getting the output as in reverse order of the numbers. Output 1 is 20 and output 2 is 10. Input, you are going to get 10 and 5 as the output. Okay, so this is the swapping of two number use function. What you learned here, what is call by reference parameter, how to make use of the call by reference parameter properly. But here we are not passing. Yes, if you see show results case, the formal argument whatever you are using, they are not, call by reference is not required there, right? Okay, call by reference. Argument variable is substituted for the formal parameter, not the argument values. You are dealing with address, not by the value. Changing that value in the function that is replicated in the function, or original value is updated, right? So in reality, the memory location of the argument variable address of that thing, right? Address means that is 2004, whatever I have used. That is not equal to 10. This is not. This is are called our address, but these are called that in reality the memory location of the argument variable is formal parameter. So whatever is done to a formal is actually done the value at the memory location of the argument variable. If something you are okay in that location, that is also replicating here, right? So this is the execution in 1010 location. Second num is stored in 1012 location. So whenever you are giving this, you are calling get underscore. The first num value is coming to here, and second num value, okay, that is nothing but variable at memory location 1010. Here 1012. So you are passing the address. You are not passing the value, right? So whenever you are entering two integer, so what is nothing but the variable at the memory location 1010 entered to the memory location 1010. Whatever second integer you are entering, that is present in the location 1012. So in this manner you have to do it. Function, right? That is get number function to get the two number. Okay, then that is that particular word function is executed, which takes two parameter. One is that is first num and second num value you are giving as a input. So in this case, given 5 and 10 as input. So once the input is done, then what you are swapping up to number, and subsequently you can go for displaying the number, right? That you can do. So see, more I clear you the concept of call by reference and call by value. So as I mentioned, but call by value case you are not using. Let my function is f, so I am calling the f function with I am calling the function with one parameter age. So variable age, okay. Two things you have to maintain. One is and its content. The value of age is 30. 1 location. So whenever you are calling call by reference, we are not these locations, or you can say in the initial case it is taking two locations, that is 1003 and 1004. So you are not with the content, but whenever you are taking dealing with the content. This is the difference. This is the swapping function, whatever we discussed. That you can take a logic like we have taken three variables, right? One is variable, another is variable, one is a variable, right? So how you can represent by a cycle? For example, here I'll write temp. What do I to variable 1? Variable 1 is assigned to variable 2, and variable no need to go through logic. If you remember the cycle variables, one after one you have to assign. Like temp is assigned variable is assigned to variable 2 and variable 2 is assigned with the, in this manner you have to assign, right? Okay, so 3 variables you have to take, or you can see in the previous. Okay, you can do the reverse process also. Otherwise, you take the circle like this. Here, okay, variable 1 here. You can say variable 1 is assigned with your temp, right? And variable 2 is assigned with your variable 1. And similarly, temp is assigned to how to do the swapping of two numbers, right? So call by value and call by reference parameters can be mixed in the same function. So you can function good underscore stop where you have another parameter here, another parameter here. But first parameter you are using call by reference, but second parameter case you are using call by, right? In this manner you can take mixture of call by value and call by reference. So whether a call by value is required or call by reference is required. Okay, does the function need to change the value of the variable used as an, if you want to change the value of the variable used as an argument, then your answer is yes. Okay, if change of the variable is no, then you have to go for value. In this case, your original value will not be affected, right? So this is a program you see here. In the main function, what you did, you have declared two variables n1 and let it be n1 and this 2. n1 holds the value 1, n2 holds 2. Then you are calling the function n1 and n2. You are calling. So n1 value is coming to par1 value, n2 value to reference. So this you are calling by value, this you are calling, right? So inside that you have written pair underscore value is 1, this value is 2. Okay, but this is in the call by reference mode. So when you in function call, what is the par value? The par value is 111. The par value first one, it will come 111. Equal to, and you are printing that value, so you are getting 222. Return the value, or when the function call is over, then you are printing. But n1 is called using. So what output you are going to get? You are going to get the output as 1, right? But second case, that is paired, you call by reference. So its value is changed to 222. So this is due to the call by value. Your value by the reference, your value is affected. So value need to be modified or not. Based upon that, you can go for. So if a function is to change the value of a variable, the corresponding call by reference parameter with the ampersand sign attached, right? So that is called as invertent. More clear. So in this case, if you see the variables, whatever, instead of writing ampersand of variable 1 and variable 2, in fact, you forget to put this ampersand sign. You are doing swapping here, So that is called as invert end of local. Okay, you are not going to get your expected output. You are giving input 1020 and 1004, but whenever you reach to here, okay, with some variable, right? You are calling the get number function to get the value, get the value. So you are swapping here. So 1020 is changed to, but here you have defined call by value instead of returning. Your original value will not be affected. So that is your local variables. So you can see here, whenever you are entering the number, going to get output is 5 and 10, but your expected is 10 and 5. Get if there is a invert end of local variables. So I think you can answer these questions, right? First one is write a void function definition for a function 0. Define a void function with name 0, both that have two reference parameter. Okay, both of which are variables of integer type. Reference parameter are of the integer type and sets the value of both variables to 0. In the for that you have to write a void function. Second one, write a function that returns a value. Okay. Third one is write a function with both call by value and call by reference parameter. That means you have to define a function which takes call by reference and call by value at the same